Amelia, 26, stood outside Marcus's apartment, rain soaking her hair and clothes. She gripped the small white stick in her hand, the one that had changed everything, a positive pregnancy test. After years of fearing she might never be able to have a child, the news was supposed to be a moment of joy. Instead, her heart pounded with nerves as she climbed the steps to the door, imagining how happy he would be. When she opened it, her world shattered. Marcus was standing there, her suitcase in his hands, his face twisted with anger. "What is this?" he demanded, tossing the suitcase onto the floor. Before she could explain, he leaned in close, eyes full of fury. "You've been cheating on me. This isn't my child." Amelia's throat went dry. "Marcus, no. But he wasn't listening. He held up his phone like it was proof. "Look at these messages. Someone told me everything. Don't even try to lie." Her hands shook as tears spilled down her cheeks. "I swear I haven't done anything. This is our baby." "That's a lie," he shouted, voice echoing in the small apartment. "Get out before I call the cops. I'm not raising another man's child." The words hit her like a punch to the stomach. She stumbled into the hallway, her suitcase abandoned, neighbors peeking from their doors. She pressed the pregnancy test to her chest, feeling every bit of hope and trust she had built crumble to nothing. She whispered to herself, heart aching, "How can the man who once begged to build a family with me now throw me away like I never mattered?" The rain soaked her, mingling with her tears. Her dreams of a life together, of holding their baby, felt shattered beneath the gray sky. She walked away from the apartment, each step heavier than the last, carrying only the test as a fragile reminder of what she had lost. That night, Marcus threw her out. But months later, he would fall to his knees when the truth finally destroyed every lie he believed. Amelia grew up with her mother, a hard-working woman who did everything to give her a better life. They didn't have much, but her mother's love and dedication were endless. Amelia learned early to be careful with her heart, always worried that she might be too much for someone, that her feelings, dreams, or ambitions could push people away. She carried that fear into every relationship, always giving love cautiously, never fully trusting that it would be returned. Marcus was different. He was charming, ambitious, and could light up any room with his smile. But beneath the charm, he was insecure. He grew up in a family where cheating and broken promises were common, and it had left its mark on him. He craved loyalty and love, but often let his doubts take control. They met at the office, and what started as casual conversations over coffee slowly turned into long talks, laughs, and secret glances. Their office romance quickly became serious. They were careful with their hearts, but the connection was too strong to ignore. They dreamed about a future together, about building a family, and supporting each other through everything life threw at them. Life, however, was not always easy. Both struggled with the fear that they might never have children. Financial stress added pressure, and Marcus's jealousy sometimes flared over small misunderstandings. Recently, Amelia had been promoted at work. She now earned more than Marcus, and instead of being happy, it created tension. Marcus's pride and insecurity clashed with her success, leaving a subtle but growing rift between them. There was another complication, Marcus's cousin, Janelle. She was friendly, even caring on the surface, but there was always something hidden in her words. She seemed to enjoy sowing doubt, dropping little hints about Amelia, and carefully manipulating situations to make Marcus question Amelia's loyalty. Her presence added a quiet tension that neither Amelia nor Marcus could easily see through. Amelia had been planning a surprise for Marcus, a moment that she imagined would be filled with joy. She wanted to tell him she was pregnant in a special, unforgettable way. But the moment that was supposed to be full of love turned into heartbreak. After Marcus's cruel rejection, Amelia found herself with nowhere to go. She turned to her mother's small apartment, clutching the evidence of her lost dreams. Her mother welcomed her with open arms, but spoke with a firmness that cut through the grief. "A man who throws you out pregnant doesn't deserve the right to your tears," she said, her eyes full of understanding. Amelia felt broken. Her heart was heavy with confusion, shame, and disbelief. The person she loved, the person she thought would be by her side, had turned his back on her. Yet, as she sat in her mother's modest living room, she also felt the first flicker of resolve. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew she needed to gather her strength, not just for herself, but for the life growing inside her. She felt small, lost, and hurt, yet deep down, she realized that this was only the beginning of a journey she would have to navigate alone. For now, Amelia went to her first prenatal appointment alone, her stomach full of nervous butterflies. The waiting room felt too quiet, and every tick of the clock made her heart race. When the doctor finally called her in, she braced herself for the news, hoping for a healthy start for her baby. The doctor smiled warmly. "Everything looks good. The baby is healthy," she said. Amelia let out a shaky breath of relief. Then the doctor added, "Based on the timeline, Marcus is definitely the father." Relief washed over her, mixed with a flicker of hope. Maybe now he would understand. Maybe he would come around. She typed a message and attached the medical note, her fingers trembling. She hit send, imagining a world where Marcus would see the truth, and they could move forward. Minutes later, her phone vibrated, not with a reply, but with the cold message that Marcus had blocked her. Her chest tightened. Anger, confusion, and hurt collided inside her. How could he refuse to even see the truth? Then her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a number she didn't recognize. The message was short, sharp, and cruel. "Stop trying to trap him. You know the baby isn't his." Shock froze her for a moment. She stared at the screen, heart pounding. Someone was trying to ruin her, to make her doubt herself and turn Marcus against her. It wasn't just a misunderstanding. Someone had set her up. Her mother's words came to her, gentle but firm. "You have to fight for yourself and for your baby, Amelia. Don't let anyone take what's yours." A new resolve began to form in her heart. She would raise her baby alone if she had to. She would not chase Marcus. She would protect herself and the life growing inside her, no matter what obstacles came their way. But fate had another twist in store. A few days later, she ran into one of Marcus's friends unexpectedly. He hesitated, looking uncomfortable. "Listen," he said quietly. "Marcus thinks you slept with his cousin's fiancé's friend. That rumor, it came from inside his family." Amelia felt her stomach drop. Everything clicked into place. The accusations, the messages, the sudden cruelty. Someone close to Marcus had intentionally destroyed the relationship she had worked so hard to protect. Anger and determination flared inside her. She realized now that this wasn't just about Marcus being insecure or jealous. This was a deliberate attempt to ruin her life, and from that moment, Amelia knew she had to stay strong, for herself and for her baby. Amelia threw herself into rebuilding her life. She found a small, cozy apartment of her own, a space where she could finally feel safe and start fresh. She began therapy to help her process the heartbreak, the betrayal, and the overwhelming stress of being abandoned while pregnant. She also signed up for prenatal classes, wanting to learn everything she could to give her baby the best start in life. Every step she took was about creating stability, for herself and for the little life growing inside her. Meanwhile, Marcus's life was falling apart. He drank more than usual, skipped work, and started making mistakes that put his job at risk. Even though he was haunted by guilt, he couldn't let go of the false belief that Amelia had cheated. His mind twisted every detail, holding on to anger instead of the truth. And Janelle made sure to fan the flames. She moved on fast. "I heard she's seeing someone else," she whispered, making Marcus more suspicious and insecure with every passing day. Amelia's own struggles weren't easy. Pregnancy was harder than she had imagined. She fainted once at the grocery store and often felt dizzy or exhausted. Stress weighed heavily on her, and the loneliness sometimes felt unbearable. But she reminded herself that every challenge she faced was preparing her to be a strong mother. Then came a shocking moment. Marcus's mother visited her apartment privately, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I'm sorry for everything," she said quietly. "I never believed the cheating rumors. Janelle has always wanted Marcus to herself." Amelia's heart tightened. The betrayal ran deeper than she had imagined. Someone from inside Marcus's family had deliberately tried to destroy her happiness. It was no wonder Marcus had been so quick to blame her. He had been manipulated. Despite the pain, Amelia steeled herself. She prepared for the baby alone, learning to trust her instincts, growing stronger emotionally, even while her heart still carried wounds. Meanwhile, Marcus began noticing inconsistencies in the messages that had convinced him Amelia had cheated. But each time, Janelle found a way to twist the truth, making him doubt his own judgment. Then Amelia received a court notice. Marcus had filed a claim denying paternity before the baby was even born. Anger and fear surged through her, and she knew she couldn't face this alone. She called a lawyer, determined to protect her rights and the future of her child. The emotional war had intensified. Amelia felt the weight of the fight ahead, but she also felt something she hadn't before, a quiet, burning determination. She wouldn't let lies and manipulation take away what was rightfully hers. Every step she took, every legal move, and every moment of preparation for her baby was a declaration. She would not be broken, she would not back down, and she would rise stronger than ever. Amelia gave birth to a baby boy and named him Noah. Holding him for the first time, she felt a love stronger than anything she had ever known. He was tiny, perfect, and completely hers. Marcus didn't come to the hospital. The absence of the man who was supposed to be by her side stung, but she focused on Noah, on the new life she would protect no matter what. To end the constant dispute, Amelia asked her lawyer to arrange a DNA test. Marcus agreed, though reluctantly, still full of doubt. When Janelle learned about the test, panic took over. She tried to destroy the paperwork, desperate to keep Marcus in the dark. But her plan failed. When the lab contacted Marcus directly, he finally saw the truth coming straight from the source. The results were clear. 99.9%. Noah was his son. Marcus broke down in the parking lot, tears streaming down his face. The realization hit him hard. He had destroyed the woman who had loved him unconditionally. He had let lies and manipulation ruin everything. Then came the bigger truth. Marcus's mother confessed that Janelle had manipulated him all along. She wanted Marcus dependent on the family and resented Amelia's independence. Marcus finally understood that his anger and distrust had not been Amelia's fault. He confronted Janelle. Under pressure, she admitted everything, confessing to the lies, the fake messages, and the manipulation. Racing to Amelia's apartment, Marcus was desperate. He begged, sobbed, and pleaded for forgiveness, wanting to make things right, to be part of Noah's life. Amelia listened, holding her baby, her heart aching with old pain and new strength. Then slowly, she closed the door. She had survived, she had protected her child, and she would not let the past control her future. Amelia focused on peace, motherhood, and healing. Every day, she held Noah in her arms and felt a love that filled every corner of her heart. Slowly, she began to let go of the anger and pain, replacing it with strength and clarity. She knew she had to protect her child and herself first. She set clear boundaries with Marcus. He wanted to be part of Noah's life, and she allowed him to co-parent but under strict legal terms. She would not take him back as a partner. Her life, her home, and her heart were hers to protect, and she was determined to make that clear. Amelia discovered a new emotional strength. She often whispered to herself, "I learned that losing him wasn't a tragedy. Believing his lies was." The truth had freed her from the weight of doubt and manipulation. Marcus began therapy to work on his insecurities, the ones that had destroyed their relationship. Amelia didn't need to fix him. She only needed to see that he was trying to change, so he could be a better father to Noah. Noah became her source of courage. Every smile, every little milestone, reminded her that she was strong enough to face anything. She felt proud of the life she was building, a life full of love, safety, and hope. Amelia also focused on herself. She rebuilt her career, pursued her passions, and learned to define her identity outside of the pain she had endured. She no longer measured her worth by someone else's approval, or by the mistakes of the past. Her final act of empowerment was simple but profound. She chose herself. She chose her peace, her happiness, and her future. She knew she could face the world, raise her child, and live fully without anyone holding her back. Amelia had survived betrayal, heartbreak, and fear, and she had come out stronger, wiser, and free. Amelia sat by Noah's crib, watching him sleep peacefully. His tiny chest rose and fell with each soft breath, and a small smile curved his lips even in slumber. She felt a warmth in her chest, a calm she hadn't known for so long. Her mind drifted back to that night when Marcus had thrown her out. She remembered the cold rain, the fear, and the heartbreak that had felt unbearable. Back then, she had felt small, lost, and completely alone. Now sitting here, everything felt different. She felt calm, fulfilled, and stronger than she had ever imagined. The fear and pain had faded, replaced by a quiet strength and a deep love for her child. She realized she had survived, had grown, and had learned to protect herself and Noah. Her phone buzzed. It was Marcus. He had accepted that he would be part of Noah's life, but not as her partner. His message read, "Thank you for letting me be in his life. I know I don't deserve it." Amelia smiled softly and typed back, choosing her words carefully. "Noah deserves a father. And I deserve peace." She leaned back in her chair, glancing at Noah again. In that moment, she understood something important. Losing people who hurt you is sometimes the best thing that can happen. Pain had taught her strength. Betrayal had taught her self-worth. And love, real, unconditional love, had given her courage. She whispered to herself, a gentle promise to her heart. Sometimes God lets people break you so you can rebuild without them. Noah stirred, opening his eyes just slightly, and Amelia reached out to hold him close. She felt complete, ready to face whatever came next, knowing she had the power to protect herself and the life she had fought so hard to create. Hey friends! Thanks a lot for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you next time.